Hello everyone, we've got another AS Year 12 binomial expansion question. It says, find the first three terms in ascending powers of x of the binomial expansion of 2 minus x over 16 to the power 9. So again, remember we're given the binomial expansion in the formula booklet, which is super handy. And I've done the expansion here. Now, the way that I think it's helpful to think about when there's a minus is it helps me if I think about it as 2 add minus x over 16. So in other words, the minus term, I kind of like group it together with the x and put a plus there. And that's useful because we're still following the pattern of a plus b that way. And if you just keep that together in a bracket with the minus there, it's quite useful because it helps you avoid losing a sign or dropping a sign. So we've now got, we're going to do our expansion. So the first term is going to be 2 to the power 9. Then we're going to have 9 choose 1. So 9 choose 1, 2 to the power 8, and minus x over 16 to the 1. So that's our first two terms. And our third term is going to be 9 choose 2, 2 to the power 7, minus x over 16 all squared. So there's our first three terms. Now let's work out what these are. So each of those individual terms, 2 to the power 9 is 512, 9 choose 1 is 9, 2 to the 8 is 256, minus x over 16 to the 1 is minus x over 16. 9 choose 2 is 36, 2 to the 7 is 128, minus x over 16 is x squared over 256. And then when we basically simplify those, we end up with the first three terms of our expansion as being 512 minus 144x plus 18x squared. Okay, and then we could just put actually just a plus dot 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 just to show it carries on. Okay, that is part A done for 4 marks. Really nice, easy 4 marks there, I think. Now, part B, a little bit more confusing. It says, given that the first two terms in ascending powers of x in the series expansion of f of x are 128 and 36x, find the values of a and b. Now, again, as you know, I'm a huge fan of the grid method when it comes to these binomial questions, especially when you've got expressions multiplied together with the binomial. So what I've done is, here's my answer for the first three terms of the binomial from part A. That's one part of my grid. The A add BX is the other part of my grid. Okay, so I've written that down there. And then I've just worked out what these terms are. So these terms in here, when they're simplified, when we collect like terms, they are the terms of our binomial expansion. So the first one is 512 times A. The next one is minus 144 times A and X. And then we've got minus 18ax squared. We've got bx times 512 there, and we've got bx times that one there. And we don't need to worry about that one because we don't need a term in x cubed. So the first term, let's have a look at the first term of our expansion. The first term of our expansion of f of x, the first term of f of x is going to be 512a. It's that term there. So we're told in the question that the first term equals 128. So we can say that 512a is equal to 128. So therefore, we can now divide both sides by 512, giving us that a is equal to 128 divided by 512, which is a quarter. So that's nice. Now, what about the second term of our f of x? The second term of f of x is given by collecting like terms from these two terms here. So we need to collect like terms, 512 bx plus minus 144 ax. So we've done that here, written those two terms together, added them together and taken the x out as a common factor. We're told that the second term is 36x. So when we equate the coefficients, so this whole thing equals 36x. So when we equate the coefficients and write down the numbers in front of the x, we get that 512b minus 144a is 36. We know from part B that a is a quarter, so we sub that in, and the only unknown in this equation now is the b. So we rearrange that, and we find out that b is equal to 72 over 512, which simplifies into 9 over 64. Really nice 8-mark binomial question there from an AS paper. I hope that you found that useful, and I will see you in the next video.